Well, hi there. Terry Hinkle here, author of Plan B Secrets of the Divine Feminine. And the question today is, how can you channel all the answers to all the questions that you have in life? Well, the answer is very simple. You already are. And, well, here it looks like my neighbor has just joined. Oh my goodness, I was just talking to her on the phone. So anyway, what I was thinking about here is watching everything that's been going on this Periscope, and it was so neat to see the building communities on here for meditation, that huge thing that went on, and that's basically what helps tremendously. You're getting all the answers all the time to every question that you think about, that you're wondering about, your dreams, when you're sleeping, everything. You're getting the answers constantly, but we choose to not listen. And part of the thing is that it's so hard to quiet the human world, quiet all the noise that is around us, and not just, the kids screaming and the alarms going off and the buses going by, and not just that worldly sounds and noise, but the noise that's inside our head. And that's one of the wonderful things about meditation, is to quiet the human noise, to quiet the world around us. And meditation, one of the things about meditation is learning to let go and manipulating all of that world around you, and manipulating how you're going to get your answers, and deciding on controlling when it's going to happen and what way it's going to happen. So that's part of the most important thing to channeling, is asking questions and then shutting the hell up, get out of the way, and wait for the information to come. It does, and it always does. I used to teach meditation to a lot of different people, men and women both, for years, and there is no one way of meditation. There is not one way of quieting all that craziness. We all have our own individual ways of doing things, and so you got to find your individual way. I think that you've found that by watching some of the people here on Periscope talking about their guided meditation. So, example, one guy that I knew that was a big executive, and I have no time. I have no way of doing that, but I always find time to walk. Okay, so now on your beautiful walk, during the first half of your walk, ask questions. And that second half of your walk, shut up and just listen. Now, being the executive that he was in advertising and everything, he just always wanted to control. Well, I should hear this, the hand of God should come down with this idea, and I should hear God's voice, and, John, you should be doing this. And, it's like, stop that. Just listen. It could be a car coming by with a radio playing and this one song that is playing. It could be the smell of somebody cooking, and it reminds you of something in your grandmother's kitchen when you were 12 years old, and something that she said. You just never know where it's going to come, so you just can't control that. Just be ready and understand you're going to get everything you need. So that's one of the ways to channel. We're all channeling. Women have this great ability to get information that us guys have a hard time sometimes getting. But just stop trying to control the outcome. Another guy that was an old client of mine, I'll tell you another quick story here about it. Very religious man. In his office, he had a Bible. He had his cross. And I ran into him at the store one day, at a grocery store here in St. Louis called Schnucks, by the meat counter. And he looked terrible. I had not seen him in years. And he said, "Oh my God, Terry, what have you been doing?" And I said, "Well, something kind of unusual. I was asking questions. I had this nationally syndicated radio show. I was asking all these questions about the divine feminine, one of the many things that we talked about on the show, and I wasn't getting the right information. So in meditation one day, boom, I got all of the information I'd ever asked for. It was freaky. It was strange. I'll tell you the whole story sometime, or get Plan B, Secrets of the Divine Feminine, and read about it, and talk to a gentleman named Steve Rother, who I'd had on my show quite a few times, that channels the group, he calls it, and he travels all over the world. And he was laughing at me when I finally got a hold of him. He said, well, it finally happened, didn't it? So I'm telling this guy some of this stuff, which I knew that he would think it's the strangest things in the world, but he was listening to everything. He says, well, Terry, my marriage is breaking up. My son won't talk to me anymore. My partner in business is I think he's stealing, and we're not going to be able to, we're going to go out of business. And no wonder he looks so terrible. And I said, well, here's, there's ways for you to take care of that. Please tell me. And he pulled out his list of what he was asking the butcher for and turned it over and started writing down for me, writing there what I was telling him about meditation, quieting, find a quiet place, listen, ask questions, and then shut up and listen. So I ran into him a few months later, and he looked fabulous. I said, my God, George, you're looking super. And he said, well, I got to tell you something. I was trying to find you. He said, maybe this is what you were talking about. He said, I found a place in Clayton, which is kind of like the city before the city of St. Louis, and there's a little monastery, and I went there, and usually what I'd been doing is finding my priest and asking him to help me with my ideas, but I thought I would try your idea first. So I went there, and I would get there about 5:30, and it was quiet. And I would get a little piece of paper out and a pencil, and I'd just sit there and kind of pray, but kind of just ask questions and find a way to be quiet. And there was something about being in that place. He said, and then all of a sudden I would hear these answers. I didn't know if it was coming from my head or my heart or whatever. And it was like, so you should, and I'd just write each one of these things down. And all of a sudden I'd have this list of telling me what I should do. And I said, so how's it going? You look pretty good. He goes, oh, my wife and I just went on our second honeymoon. My son has moved back in. Our business is doing as good as ever. And I said, so you didn't have to go to somebody else. You didn't have to go to your priest or somebody and tell them something, that they had to go to the bishop and they had to go to the pope or something like that. You went directly to the source. You found a place that was perfect for you to quiet the noise, give up how it was going to come, and know that the information would come to you. So those are a quick few stories. You have the ability to get every answer to every question you've ever needed if you just understand you do. Find your own special way to quiet. Ask your questions. And then just sit back and breathe. And you're going to get the information. So that is a quick little Periscope or scope or whatever that is today. I'm going to start doing this more. I'm going to start talking about all the wonderful things that were channeled to me for the first book of Plan B, Secrets of the Divine Feminine, and the second and third book that are getting ready to be published. And this is a good place. Scoping is a good place. This has good energy in this place. So listen to everybody about meditation on here. Go to the guided meditations. Do the yoga. There's some good yoga going on here, and some very powerful people telling you about some good, empowering things. So I'll try to do my part too. So this is Terry Hinkle, and I will hopefully talk to you again very soon. Have a good evening. Bye.